Good morning, Yankees universe. Welcome back to another episode of the Yankees Morning Brew on this Thursday, November 2nd. Like always, I'm your guy Hector, joined by my co-host, Mr. TC Stills. All you Yankee fans out there, wake up and get your coffee. TC, how you feeling, big fella?
Well, I'm feeling good. Another day, woke up and had breath. So it's always a good day.
Oh yeah.
How about them Rangers, huh? World Series is over.
How about those
Texas
Rangers?
Rangers. Wow. What a shock, huh?
Yeah, finally, the baseball season is officially over. We could start getting ready for the 2024 season with the Texas Rangers winning. Finally, it's over. Finally, it's over, TC, because
Yeah.
it was a horrible 2023 when it comes to
Yeah.
covering our New York Yankees. And then on top of it, I think you said it was like 8 former Mets and Yankees celebrating the World Series last night. There's a picture going around with
Yeah.
Aroldis Chapman, Nathan Eovaldi, Andrew Haney, and hold on, there's one more Yankee in there.
Jordan
Hold on.
Montgomery.
And Jordan Montgomery celebrating their World Series championship.
Yeah.
It's a bit, it's some lemon in the wound. It's a bit some salt in the wound. It hurts. Not gonna
Yeah.
lie. It's not gonna lie.
Sure does.
Congratulations to them. Congratulations to
Yeah.
them for
Their
helping
first
Texas win a
first
World
World
Series.
Series.
In their franchise history, back-to-back World Series championships for the state of Texas. So if you're someone who's a Rangers fan or an Astros fan, you've had 2 good solid years back-to-back when it comes to
Yeah.
championships.
Good baseball in Texas.
There's that when it comes to that.
Yeah.
But like I said, season's over. Let's start aiming for 2024. The free agency frenzy will start within the next 5 to 6 days.
Our turn now. It's our turn.
It's our turn to rebuild, hopefully, with Aaron Judge hinting at a big Yankees offseason. Hopefully,
Yeah.
some stuff can start going our way. You got the news that the San Diego Padres have been messaging people borrowing $50 million and giving them IOUs because they need to pay their bills. They don't have enough money to pay their payroll. So that's another sign that Juan Soto will be traded this offseason. TC, what's
Yes.
your thoughts on that? And shout out to the chat. I'll do the roll call in a sec. Just want to get TC's thoughts. Go
Yeah.
ahead, bro.
Yeah, that's when I saw that, I was like, wow, that's some financial irresponsibility there.
Oh
Borrowing
yeah.
money to pay for your big name guy. So, yeah,
Mm-hmm.
good news for us. Juan Soto could be that much closer. They
Mm-hmm.
need to shed payroll. I mean, they got Machado and Tatis also, and then they
Yeah.
just signed Bogarts. So
Mm-hmm.
a lot of guys they might have a fire sale. They might have to, but as long as we get Juan Soto, I'm fine.
Yeah, I was just about to say, as long as the Yankees get Juan Soto, I don't care what happens to the other players.
No,
I'm
I don't.
drinking my thin energy drink. You
Mm,
guys didn't catch the episode yesterday from the
yeah,
next
gotta go
morning
back
brew.
and
We
watch
were
that.
we were able to interview John Starks. His thin energy drink. It's amazing. I got a box sample. Celso got a box. Jerry got a box. Phil got a box, and we got T-shirts also from them as well.
I didn't.
I'm sorry, TC. I apologize for that. But no, it was a great conversation with John Starks, guys. Make sure you guys go and check it out. He graced us with his presence. We're definitely going to be doing some more work with him as the season goes on. But it was a great conversation. So let's do a little bit of the roll call. Yes,
Yeah.
Enzo, we had John Starks on yesterday. Make sure you check it out. But shout out to
Enzo, what's
my
up?
guy Lorenzo Cardona, who's in the building. My guy Alan Landsman, salute, salute, salute.
Yeah.
Latoya Williams, who is in the building, salute to you,
Latoya, how you
Latoya.
doing?
My guy NFE, he was in the chat yesterday with
What
John
up,
Starks. That was
NFE?
pretty dope. My guy
That's right.
Shane McNeil's in the
Shane,
building. NYY's numero uno
Ruben,
Ruben is in the building. My brother, how you doing? Of course, we got our good friend Jonathan in
Jonathan,
the building.
good to
Our
see you.
guy Dev Finch, how you doing?
Always
Of
good to
course,
see Dev.
Nancy, who says July outfield
Nancy,
for the Yankees to be Judge
yes,
Soto and the Martian. I would not
please.
hate that one right there. Of course, I got to shout out my brother Anthony Medina, mi
Dina,
hermano de la
what's up?
Islas in the building. Salute, salute, salute. Of course, my guy Sudi Sunil is in the
What's up,
building.
Sunil?
Sunil, I hope all is well. Who else we got here? Oh, my brother
Yeah,
Jiggerman
shame on
Porto's in
YouTube
the
TV.
chat. How are you doing, Jiggerman
Jigga,
Porto? Yankee cows in the building. I appreciate all of you guys for tuning in. Like always, we got 30 people in the building. So if you guys can, please smack that like button for your boys as we continue the conversation. And I can't forget the Fast and Furious himself, Damian Serrano, who is in the building. But no, TC, let's I'll throw it over to you. Give me your thoughts when it comes to the World Series ultimately. Texas Rangers versus the Diamondbacks.
Well, ultimately, it came down to the Texas Rangers just outslugged the Diamondbacks. When it mattered most, they came through. Last night was a perfect example. 9th inning, they were only up 1-0. They tacked on 4 runs and put an end to it. Just relentless hitting. I mean, even without Adolis Garcia for a couple games, up and down that lineup. I mean, what can you say about Corey Seager? Man, my God, what a miss by Cashman.
You broke up the game that was going on.
Yeah,
he broke in the
big miss. Yeah, and salute to Zach Gallen. I mean, he pitched a hell of a game up until the 6th, 7th inning. Nathan Eovaldi as well. But the Rangers overall just had better hitting, and their pitching held on. I mean, they were it was a patchwork pitching staff with Montgomery and Eovaldi basically. Scherzer was nothing. He was a non-factor. He got hurt. You got John Gray kind of filled in. Andrew Heaney, I wasn't afraid of him. I figured he was going to get rocked around, but they somehow, their bullpen, especially their closer there, man, they just couple good pitchers and a dominating hitting team showed, hey, we can win the World Series. And also another fact, 11-0 on the road. Can you believe that in the postseason? Man. Amazing.
That's crazy. That's crazy to even say out there. 11-0 on the road. I want to shout out a few more people that joined the chat. We got big time Jerry who's in the building. Jerry Cadell, good morning. How are you doing? I got my guy Austin Cruz is in the building. Right. Judge and Soto in the same lineup will help both players. Could be the modern day M&M boys. Austin Cruz, appreciate you for being in the chat. If I'm not mistaken, I think this is Austin from BX Sports Jedi Network. It's my guy Kev's son, Austin. Hope all is well. Salute to you, Austin. Richie Martinez, who's in the building, who said, good morning, gentlemen. Keep killing it. Soto, Yamamoto, and definitely need a closer. Richie Martinez, we are right there with you with the Juan Soto rumors hitting up and with the San Diego Padres hitting up people to borrow money like your drunk cousin that you can't trust with $5. It seems like Juan Soto to the Bronx may become a reality. We got Louis G in the building. Louis, I hope all is well. Salute, salute, salute. Good morning. My guy Lorenzo, hold on. Enzo said, I had mango this morning in California. It's got to be a sign that Soto is going to be in pinstripes. I have never been able to find mango out in California until now. Listen, Enzo, buy up all the mango you want. Yeah. Anybody who's out there, make sure you guys go and buy all the stocks for as much mango as you can. Me and my girlfriend were making t-shirts that say make platanos 10 for $1 again, because when I was a kid growing up, they used to be 10 for $1. Now you can't even get them 2 for $1 nowadays. Wow. It's crazy. My guy, the sweetheart drunk, is in the building. Salute to you, my guy. Let's see. Leon 15 says, Bori in the building. La Boricua, stand up. Let's get it. Juan Soto is the move. Let's go, boys. Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. I think that's the main thing we're going to go with right now. But before we get to the Juan Soto stuff, we got to talk about Aaron Judge, because like on the last episode, Aaron Judge hinting at a big Yankees offseason. So let's get to that. As I got that right there, my guy Joey Randazzo, shout out to Joey Randazzo on Twitter, who said, Hal Steinbrenner and Brian Cashman are on the clock. The World Series is over. It's time to take this clown show on the road and make the Yankees not suck anymore. Another season has come, another season has gone, and the Bronx did not see another World Series game this year. It has been an ongoing slugfest, so it's been an ongoing issue since the last time the Yankees were there in 2009. And Chris Kreisner, like on the last show, pointed out that Aaron Judge said changes can mean a lot of different things, from philosophies to players to coaches to everything. Basically, we haven't made it to the big dance in quite a few years, so we have work to do. TC, where do you think the Yankees should go first when it comes to this offseason? I know Jason from 161, he was talking about the international free agent signing with the Japanese players. TC, I think he said the max player could get is 20 million. So I think every team is going to be offering Yamamoto the 20 million. What else could they offer it to make it sweet, to make Yamamoto want to sign with them? What's your thoughts on that, TC?
Yeah, that's the posting fee. So the posting fee is I think the max it can be is 20, but Yamamoto's going to probably get up to 200 mil. I'm thinking somewhere in that range. Maybe a 5-year, 6-year deal somewhere in there. But first and foremost, the Yankees have to get Juan Soto. That's where they got to go first. Monitor's having troubles here. Let me adjust this.
I can still see you right now.
Okay,
you good.
Sorry. Yeah. No, first and foremost, got to be Juan Soto. They gotta figure out a trade. They gotta negotiate the extension, the contract, work out the years, the whatever, opt outs, performance, incentives, whatever it is. That has to be first. The team needs hitting, especially left-handed hitting, especially Juan Soto's type on base percentage. That's the number one thing killing this team. They have no offense. Their offense is dead. That has to be the first thing. I mean, there's a lot of things they got to do. Yeah, Yamamoto would be great, but they got to figure out this Juan Soto. They got to bring him to the Bronx immediately. That has to be
ASAP. ASAP. Last night, right? Wow. Making these graphics and stuff, and I'll switch it over to the Juan Soto graphics since we're talking about Soto.
Yeah.
When I was making these graphics last night, I was just wondering to myself what it would have been like if YouTube in 2023 was around when A-Rod was traded to the Yankees, right? Back in 2004, 2003 to 2004, that offseason. How would we all be interacting with each other, and how would the internet have broken if Alex Rodriguez was traded to the Yankees instead of the Boston Red Sox? Because during that offseason, all the rumors were pointing that he was going to be traded to Boston. They was just working out the final tidbits when it comes to his contract and his money. But ultimately, it made me think about this offseason, because Juan Soto, I don't want to say he's on the same level as Alex Rodriguez when it comes to celebrity and when it comes to popularity in the sports. Right. But Juan Soto is that type of impact back, and he's a lot younger than what Alex Rodriguez was when he was traded to the Yankees. So if the Yankees are able to pull off this in the offseason, I think this would probably be one of the biggest moves in baseball since the media has been shifted to more YouTube content creators and stuff like that. What's your thoughts on that right there from that perspective?
Well, yeah, anything dealing with the Yankees, New York is the hub. I mean, it's basically the center of media attention and the world to me. So anything dealing with the New York Yankees, especially getting someone like a Juan Soto, immediately draws the most attention. And that's what Boris wants. Boris wants all the attention. He wants the drum up all this, whether they're in talks or not talks, or it draws interest and just drives up the price for Juan Soto. But man, the internet would blow up if this actually fell through and we could get him, and Yankee fans would go crazy. There'd be I think there'd be so many celebrating YouTube videos that we wouldn't even be able to just. It'd be take me a week to watch every single one of them. So, but New York needs something like that. We need some positive, just something positive, because it's been a couple of years of just depressing team. The team is depressing with all the money that they have and the product they put on the field. I mean, come on, let's go. Let's get this guy now.
Yeah. Stephen B in the chat brings it up and said, Hector, they had baseball forums back in 2024, the A-Rod trade, and people were going nuts. I was on the back then. No, yeah, no, I do understand that there were forums and stuff, but it's not like what the medium is today. It's not like what the meta is today when it comes to content creators on YouTube and Twitch, Instagram, TikTok, to
Twitter or X,
whatever you want to, Facebook and stuff. So yeah, I understand there were baseball forums, but not every baseball fan had access to them, right? Like myself, for instance, I didn't grow up with a computer in my home. I had to go to the like local library if I wanted to get on the on the internet. And even with going to my local public library, they had some restrictions on what websites you could and you couldn't visit back then. But no, I agree with you, Stephen B. I could just imagine how crazy it was in the online space. Pete, shout out to my guy Ally Wise, who's in the building. Salute to you, Ally Wise. And Dr. Hitskin said something in the chat. I'm going to bring it up right now. He has two dope chats that are in there. Hold on. This is the first one right here. Dr. Hitskin says, do we realistically think that Boris would allow his client, oh, where's it at? It's not on the screen.
Yeah, there it is.
Negotiate a deal upon a trade? That's the issue. Scott Boras is the wild card. But as Yankee fans, we got to ask ourselves, do we want to take that gamble? It's 50-50 or less than 50-50 on the opposite side when you think about Scott Boras. But do you want to take the gamble that another team trades for Juan Soto in the offseason, and then that team is able to come up with a negotiating deal during the season with Juan Soto? Do you want to really gamble until he hits free agency and wait? I'm not comfortable with that. You know, we pointed it out on the last show. Look at the free agency landscape over the next 5 years. There's not a player that is as impactful as Juan Soto that's going to be a free agent. So if he's available for a trade, you trade for him. And if you have to wait till next season for the offseason to re-sign him, you wait until you have to re-sign him. But do not let him go to another team and then another team hits him with the contract extension that everybody said Scott Boras wouldn't allow. I'm not too comfortable in taking that gamble, TC. What about you?
I totally agree. I was on the fence about that before, but just looking at the landscape, looking at what is out there free agent wise, and all the misses that Cashman has done over the years, you cannot let this guy go. You can't take a chance and say, oh, we'll get him in free agency next year. You can't. You got to do it now. You got to negotiate a long term. You want him in New York for 10 to 12 years for the rest of his career. And so you got to do it. You can't take a chance. You can't base your team on all the prospects. You can't do that. If you got to get rid of some prospects, you got to get rid of them. Sorry. And if
I want to shout out my guy DJ Stills, who's in the building, who says the only gamble I'm doing is betting the over and under or how many elbows Li Yankee King is going to get from Jigga Man. How you doing, TC? How you doing, Hector El Father? How you doing, chat? My guy DJ Stills, what it do, brother? Salute, salute, salute. I hope all is well. I got a little bit of a delay on my end, TC. TC, if you want, read the tweet from Ryan. I'm just going to refresh and jump back into the window. All right, bro?
Sure. So let's see. Ryan Garcia says the Yankees know that not getting Juan Soto, assuming he's traded, following an 82-80 season would be so bad that nobody could possibly cope with it. Dog, I cope with getting IKF and Donaldson instead of Corey Seager. They got to know that outside Cole and Judge, everybody can go. I agree 100%. Agree.
Come on, bro.
We've suffered through this whole thing with IKF and Donaldson and Gallo and Hicks. And look at the season, 82-80. That's the depressing season. And we need some positive energy with Juan Soto, and he would definitely put us over the top. Yeah, not just Juan Soto by himself, but we need a lot of work. But Juan Soto is definitely at the forefront. We need to get Juan Soto, and I think all us Yankee fans feel the frustration that Ryan Garcia was just talking about. So what's happening, Hector? You having problems over there? Hector's gone. What's up, chat? What is going on, Yankee fans? Let's see. Who else we got in here? I missed out. I think I see Samantha T. Samantha T, what's up? How you doing? It's been a while. Sunil's in here. Lorenzo, miss you, buddy. Hey, when you gonna invite me out again? It's a Mangu. I gotta try that. Yeah, NFE, it's a TC show now. Hey, are you available? You available? Come on. We'll slip you in there, NFE. So so Chad, what do you think? What do you think the Yankees need to do first? Do you think it's Juan Soto, or do you think it's getting a pitcher? For me, we gotta upgrade our hitting. I mean, that's first and foremost. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Is there anybody out there, anybody besides Juan Soto, that you think we can get that would put us over the top? Like if you have to fall back, if there's someone else other than Juan Soto, who do you think? Who do you think it is? Anybody? Soto. Everybody says Soto. Sean Browning, what's up? How you doing, Sean?
Am I back? I'm good.
Hey, there he is.
There you go. All right, I'm good. I'm good. I had
Hector needs to save the show. It's going down the toilet.
Yeah, sorry about that. I had called Celso and he was getting ready to jump on to help me out. Sorry, Celso.
That's all right. Celso to the rescue.
Sorry. Yeah, he's always to the rescue.
There he is.
Sorry, bro.
PC can't carry the show.
Yeah, no. You definitely could. Also, we got 45 people in the building. If you guys can, please smack that like button. My guy Evan on Twitter also he brings up the San Diego Padres took out a loan for about $50 million in September to address some short-term cash flow issues and meet their obligations, including player payroll, etc., etc. You remember during the season we pointed out that the Padres, they lost their TV rights because Bally Sports, the company that was hosting their broadcasting, went under. They had to file for bankruptcy, and apparently they didn't pay out the San Diego Padres for when it comes to their ad revenue for about 2 seasons. Honestly, I think it's fiscally irresponsible to dish out that many contracts without getting any of your money that is owed to you. Yes, promises are made, promises are kept when it comes to contract negotiations. But TC, if you and I are running a business, right, and you know there's a revenue stream of ours that haven't come in yet, will you be okay with me when it comes to allocating extra funds without recouping whatever we already spent?
No, that's irresponsibility. I mean, I don't know. I don't know how they can get away with that. That's just not. I don't know. That's frowned upon as far as I go. That's yeah, it's irresponsible.
And Enzo pointed it out, said the Padres were really trying to take $100 million when it comes to that loan, but MLB only approved a $50 million loan when it comes to the Padres. Honestly, that's crazy to think right there that the Padres were trying to borrow $100 million. I get upset when people ask me to borrow $5, let alone $100 million. That's a lot of money.
Wow.
And if you think about it, if their payroll was 280 or whatever it was, that's almost that's not half, but it's more than a quarter of what their payroll when it comes to trying to borrow that from a creditor.
Yeah. And they're not a big market, so they're not pulling in that kind of money like the Yankees or Dodgers. I mean, I don't know how they they thought they were going to recoup all that money.
I don't.
It doesn't make sense.
I don't know. Maybe they thought they'll be able to get a World Series or a playoff appearance and then afterwards start trading players. But I don't know. If you're a Padres fan right now and you wake up to the news that your team is in this much of financial crisis right now, you got to be worried. You definitely got to be worried. I remember last offseason after they signed Xander Bogaerts, they had a big press conference, a big media run with their players. You had Tatis, Machado, Juan Soto, Xander Bogaerts, all of them talking, how many championships are we going to win? Who are we going to face in the World Series? Are we going to face the Yankees in the World Series? If not, it doesn't matter because everybody sucks. they had that parade. Like, you remember when the Miami Heat got together, LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh, and they said we got to win 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 championships. That's what the Padres did last offseason, and they didn't even make the postseason this year.
That's sad. To me, that borrowing money, getting Bogarts, and they got worse from last season. So I don't know. Acquiring stars doesn't equate to championships.
No,
you got to have chemistry.
Yeah, and you gotta be able to spend the money the right way, right? I don't want to say spending money can't bring you to a championship, because look at the Texas Rangers. Look at the past 2 off seasons: Corey Seager, Marcus Semien, Nathan Eovaldi, Jacob deGrom. Even though he ain't pitching the World Series, they still went out there and they spent over $100 million on Jacob deGrom. Yeah. So when it comes to spending money, you just have to spend it the right way.
Yeah, those players worked out.
Yeah,
they did.
Corey Seager,
they got the best out of each and every one of those guys.
Another guy that the Yankees could have had, and he came up as a Yankee fan, wanting to be a Yankee, and they said no. This is Corey Seager's stats in the World Series. Corey Seager in the World Series, he hit .286. He had a .375 on base percentage, .762 slugging. He had 3 home runs, 6 RBIs, 6 runs. His career numbers in the playoffs: he is a .294 postseason hitter with 6 home runs, 15 RBIs, and 17 runs. This is a guy that is made for the postseason, and the Yankees just let him walk away and go sign with the Texas Rangers. They cannot let that happen to Juan Soto.
No. Just imagine if we had Corey Seager batting second, Aaron Judge maybe third, or Juan Soto after that, or Juan Soto but maybe 1, 2, 3. Can you just imagine that lineup? It's too bad they got distracted by putting all their hope in Anthony Volpe. If Anthony Volpe was not in the picture, we would have had Corey Seager. I'm convinced that. Yeah. So, yeah, big miss. What are you gonna do? But now you can't miss on Juan Soto.
No, you can't.
Everybody, the light is shining on Juan Soto, like blinking, like, hello. If you miss this guy, you're done. His GM career is over, I think.
Yeah. And like I've been saying, I'm tired of billionaire MLB owners crying of poverty. I'm tired of it. Randy Levine, he came out there complaining about other teams not spending money, and they're taking luxury tax money to pay for their team and pay for their parents. I'm tired of hearing these billionaire team owners complaining about money. Go out there and spend the money. Go out there. Look at the attendance. Every game in Arlington with the Texas Rangers were playing, every game was sold out. Every single one of those games was sold out. Arizona, who is not a big market team, every one of those games were sold out, max capacity. You're going to make your money back if you spend the money wisely, right? If you put the money into where you have to put it, you'll get the players that you'll need to get, and you'll be able to get to the postseason to make all that money back. You just got to spend it wisely. It's just like any business, TC. Another analogy: if me and you, we own a business, if we're spending the money properly, we're going to have people coming in and out of that door spending money at our establishment. But if we spend our money like drunken sailors, like buffoons, like the Padres, then we're going to be on one of those shows, Bar Rescues, trying to get someone to fix our books. That's what's going to happen.
Bankrupt.
You got to spend the money properly, and you can't be afraid to spend that money.
Yeah, they definitely need to put the proper management in place to correctly spend this money. But well, look at what they charge for tickets and parking and food and all that. It just goes up and up and up every year. We're paying for it. Why are these owners complaining? I mean, they're making everybody else pay for it. I'm tired of it. I can't hear billionaires cry. It's like,
I'm tired of it.
Turn you off. I don't even want to hear you. That's nonsense.
I want to shout out my guy Mike Lino in the chat. Mikey Lee, how you doing? Salute, 3 capital S's. My guy Alan Landsman said, New York hired Zulus Analytics. The Oakland A's, the Chicago White Sox, the San Francisco Giants, and the Atlanta Braves also use that firm. So hopefully that's the firm that the Yankees are going to do for whatever audit they decide to go with in the offseason.
Is this new? Is this
I have no
like
idea.
breaking
Alan,
news or
if this
something?
is like breaking news, let me know, because I've been trying to figure out what company the Yankees are going to hire for that audit. So if that's the case, Alan, just let us know in the chat so we can confirm it. Dr. Hiskin says, realistically, the Yankees could trade for Juan Soto and Cody Bellinger.
They
Yeah,
sure can.
especially if you look at the rumors that are being attached to it, right? If the Yankees trade for Soto and we bring back Jake Cronenworth's contract, he has 7 years, $80 million left on his when it comes to his contract. I want to ask you, TC. I'm going to ask you people in the chat. When it comes to Juan Soto, right? If the Yankees pony up the prospects to trade for Juan Soto, are you okay with bringing back Jake Cronenworth and his contract? He signed a massive contract with the Padres. He haven't lived up to that contract. If you look at it, it's $80 million over the next 7 years. That's less than $10 million a season. I want to ask you, TC, are you willing to eat that contract if that gets you Juan Soto?
Of course. I don't care what it takes to get Juan Soto. I'll take his contract. I'll take Matt Carpenter. I'll take whatever else. As long as I'm getting Juan Soto on the Yankees, I'm taking it.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter who I have to give up either. I mean, I know people are stuck on, Michael King or some certain Drew Thorpe or some certain prospects. Not proven. Juan Soto's proven. He's going to change this team, and we need offense. So there's nothing holding me up. No, I'm taking on. Yeah. Cronenworth, I'll take it.
Just like you said, I'm taking on Cronenworth. I'm taking on Matt Carpenter. I'm taking on, if you guys have any outstanding debts with any other collectors,
take
I'm
your
taking
$50 million
that
loan. Yeah,
exactly. You guys need a new parking lot. I'll give you money to fix your parking lot up. Whatever you need in order for us to get Juan Soto, you got to make happen. And when it comes to Jake Cronenworth, he is a left-handed hitter as well. He can play multiple positions. He can play second, third, first, the corner outfield spot. So it could be one of those things that we get Cronenworth, and because he's in Yankee Stadium, the dimensions to Yankee Stadium could work better when it comes to his output. And you never know. Let Jake Cronenworth get on fire for one season. Let him build up his value, and then maybe you could trade him, right? I'm just trying to think outside of the box, because like I said, he's going to be making less than $10 million a season. So if he shows you that he has some type of value, I know there's a team that's out there that would take a guy who can hit. They could take a guy who could play multiple positions that's making less than $10 million. That be it still, if the Yankees could bring him over here and work out whatever flaws he has going. So it could be a win-win situation for the Yankees. You're getting Juan Soto to address the need that you need in the outfield and in the lineup. And two, you're getting a guy in Jake Cronenworth who could play multiple positions, because that's what you need in this day and age of baseball.
Yeah. And also it opens up the more trade possibility of Gleyber Torres. We won't need Gleyber Torres, so we can bring back some major league pitching for Gleyber. So you could flip Cronenworth as well. There's a lot of options, but as long as Soto's on this team, I'm taking. Like even Sweetheart Drunk says he's taking on half the Chargers. He'll take the Chargers contract. It don't matter,
sweetheart. Sweetheart. I want to highlight some chat. My guy,
they're actually in LA now, though. But they're not
689 OPS. Yes, a 689 OPS is horrible. You don't want to be toting that out there all the time. My guy Ruben said Cronenworth, I would definitely take. He was also hurt playing in a park that isn't kind to a lefty bat. He may be a sneaky 2019 LeMahieu type of Yeah. I 100% agree with you, Ruben.
And Yankee
like
Stadium
I said,
is a friendly hitting stadium compared
especially
to San
for
Diego.
left-handed hitters. Especially for left-handed hitters. You put Jake Cronenworth in Yankee Stadium for 81 games, easily anywhere from 15 to 20 home runs if he plays 81 games at Yankee Stadium. Easily. Dr. Hiskin says, if I'm taking that contract, lessen the prospects. Yeah, that's also something as well. If we're willing to eat some money, you may have to come down when it comes to your asking price for certain type of prospects.
I agree. Yeah.
Let's see what else. Sean Brown says Gleyber Torres for Bednar. If we trade for Jake Cronenworth, we got another infielder in the mix. That means we open it up to trading Gleyber Torres. And if we could get David Bednar for Gleyber Torres, I'm not sure if the Pirates would do that, but if we could get that, I'm not saying no to that.
No, I'm okay with that. We need a closer. That's another need. That's that's a big need.
And like Ruben said, Cronenworth, his first 2 years, he had an 800 OPS each season. He was injured last year, and I think the injuries may have caught the best of him when it comes to his production. So I definitely agree with you, Ruben. It's definitely some upside. Dan C says in 450 ABs, he had 10 home runs. Like I said, it wasn't San Diego, who's not nice to left-handed hitters. If you guys remember, there was a video that came out when Juan Soto and oh man, that first baseman, I'm forgetting his name, Josh Bell, when they were traded to the San Diego Padres from the Nationals, when they walked onto the field, both of them looked at each other and said, "Whoa, it is a long way down the right field line. You really got to get a hold of one in order to hit a home run here in San Diego." And it's true. Look, the only player that I've seen that been able to dominate in San Diego as a left-handed hitter was Adrian Gonzalez, the first baseman. But then he was traded to the Boston Red Sox. I don't know what happened to his swing. He was never able to repeat his success he had in San Diego, but he was the only hitter that I saw, a left-handed hitter, that was able to hit 300 and have 30 bombs in that ballpark.
Yeah, it's a big ballpark. And you know, it's about time that these guys come from another team to the Yankees and get better. What do you say? I mean, isn't it? I mean, instead of the other way around?
Yeah, we're used to the other way around. I do not want to see the other way around. I do not want to see any of our guys going to another team and they become better. No, I want to see players coming to our team and turning into DJ LeMahieu, right? Just like in 2019, like my guy Ruben in the chat pointed out. Just want to say we got 65 people in the building. If you guys can, please smack that like button. I want to shout out my guy, Li Yankee King. The only troll in the Yankee universe that we acknowledge and love is our guy, Li Yankee King. Li, how you doing?
So does he have any trade proposals?
Yes, Li, you got any trade proposals for any 32nd round draft picks, anything like that? Let us know, Li.
Let's see his latest. I want to see the latest.
My guy, Sweetheart Drunk, said, remember, this is only 1 year for Soto, technically. Soto, Cronenworth for Jones, Smith, and King, sign Yamamoto, make up the pitching. No, 100%. And yes, like Sweetheart says, technically this would be for 1 year for Juan Soto, right? I do not want the Yankees to take the gamble and wait for him to go into free agency, because just like everybody is putting out there, Scott Boras, we understand Scott Boras, but you don't want to take the gamble that another team like the Mets trade for him, and then Steve Cohen opens up his checkbook and just give Juan Soto whatever he wants. You don't want to take that gamble as a Yankee fan. I'm not comfortable with that. I'm not comfortable. I'm not comfortable waiting another year for a guy that we're told we're going to get, and we just lose out on him. I'm not comfortable with that whatsoever.
No, we keep saying it. We can't. You can't miss out on Juan Soto. This is the guy, a generational talent. We missed up on, missed so many, with Seager and Harper and Machado, and the list goes on and on and on. You can't miss this guy. You got to bring in Juan Soto. You got to do whatever it takes. Yeah.
Let me see what else. My guy Ness said, how about you pick up a proven major leaguer, I think he's talking about Juan Soto, and stop putting gold glove third basemen in the outfield / rotations. Yeah, and then he's talking about IKF. And credit to IKF with everything that has gone on. IKF last year, he had a solid season as a role player, right? But that's not what we need. We don't need IKF to be a solid role player. No, we need to go out there and we need to trade for Juan Soto. We can't go into the 2024 season without addressing our left field situation when it comes to our team. If we go into the season without a left fielder, how many seasons is that in a row that we don't have a left fielder? We didn't have one last year. 34. Oswald Cabrera, he was an infielder who was converted into an outfielder. The year before that, we didn't have no one playing left field who was an actual left fielder.
Yeah, what the days of having all these role player and utility guys, that's got to stop. You got to get starters. You have to have a set lineup and a set defensive lineup as well. You can't. I mean, occasionally you want to give a day off to a guy and put him, in a different position. But the way the Yankees have been operating, it's every single day someone's in a different position and a different lineup, and that's got to stop. That's got to stop. This is the New York Yankees. It's unheard of. So,
and
I don't know.
Like my brother Pete Seminetti said over on NYY Underground. Shout out to my guy Pete. But like Pete said, I do not want to hear the Yankees talking about a World Series caliber organization if you don't get this guy right here in the graphic. If you don't go out there and make the trade for Juan Soto, if you don't go out there and sign Yamamoto as a starting pitcher, if you don't go out there and address your bullpen by bringing in Matsui or trading for another bullpen arm like a David Bednar, if you don't do those things, I do not want to hear this nonsense about a World Series caliber organization, because you're not. You're not even a wild card series caliber organization. 82 and 80. You should be embarrassed. You should feel embarrassed that your fan base has to go out there and pay for the second highest ticket in baseball behind the Dodgers, and you still finish the season 82 and 80.
Embarrassing. Hopefully Hal's feeling it, because it's this complacency. This is just it's very, very frustrating, because all I hear is this chatter, talk, and nothing gets done. We've heard it last year. We heard it this year. Nothing. World Series caliber. You can't roll the same team back. That's insanity. No change. Same coaches, same GM. You're 82 and 80. You don't make the playoffs, and nothing gets changed. You think you're going to get better? Sorry, that's irresponsibility right there.
Li Yankee King says, and Hector, by the way, the 84 win Diamondbacks got to the World Series with 2 more wins to the Yankees. Well, you know what 84 is? 84 is still greater than 82. I'm not sure if you're a math whiz, Li, like I am a math whiz. 84 is greater than 82. Is it, TC, am I bugging? Is 84 more than 82?
Let's see, 83, 84.
84
yeah,
81,
it's
82,
two more.
But it's still more than 82, right?
As far as I know, yes.
Yeah. Were they able to make it into the postseason with 84 wins? Were the Yankees able to make it into the? Were the Yankees able to make it into the postseason with 82?
No.
Okay. All right. I just want to make sure we're all on the same page when it comes to the mathematics here. Okay. 19 comment says Soto and Jung Ho Lee are both lefties with insane on base percentage. We would be back. That's what we need. Guys who can get on base. And when it comes to Jungle, if the Yankees go out there and trade for Soto and sign Jung Ho Lee, there's no spot for Jason Dominguez in that outfield. There's no spot.
But if that's something you got to do, you got to make the move. I mean, Dominguez isn't back till June, July. So by then, maybe we move some people around. I mean, I'm not for moving guys around like we've been doing, but I mean, we're the Yankees. We got to make change. If Lee's available, I mean, I prefer Bellinger at this point in Soto. Or Yamamoto and Soto, those are priorities.
I
don't know.
Listen, as much as I want Jung Ho Lee, I know we have Jason Dominguez in the minors. I'd rather keep Jason Dominguez. Jung Ho Lee, seems like he'll be a phenomenal hitter, phenomenal defender as well. Great speed. I just would rather go the Juan Soto route, siding Cody Bellinger, even though I do not think Cody Bellinger, when you look at his analytics, his barrel rate and stuff like that, shout out to Fireside Yankees. They took a deep dive into his analytics. I don't think Cody Bellinger will have the same type of season he had for the Cubs. I don't think he could repeat that. But Cody Bellinger is a versatile outfielder who's a left-handed bat who could play all three outfield spots and could play first base. So if you want to pay 20 to 25 million for that, I wouldn't be opposed to it. But if we sign Cody Bellinger, don't expect him to duplicate what he did in Chicago. If he does, I'll be the first one to say I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Right. But just don't expect Cody Bellinger to return into his MVP form. No, I just think we got to be more realistic when it comes to Bellinger.
Yeah, and as Yankee fans, we realize that when these guys come in, they're never as good as they were on another team. We're used to it, and it's about time that they came in and did, produced better. But yeah, we're not convinced that Anthony Rizzo's fully healthy too, and Bellinger's insurance for that. So playing first base, that's a good move.
And that's the thing when it comes to Bellinger. Could he be healthy? Could we count on him for 162 games or even 130? He doesn't have to play the whole season. If we could count on Cody Bellinger for 130 to 140 games, I wouldn't be mad at that, right? Bringing Cody Bellinger
show up in the postseason, right?
There's with the whole Juan Soto thing, they're saying that the Padres still want to compete. They're not trying to rebuild. If we got to send back Anthony Rizzo, bring back Jake Cronenworth, Matt Carpenter's contract. Yep. Rizzo is a free agent after next year, after 2024. Then we get Cody Bellinger. There's ways to move people around. So when Dominguez comes up, you can have Jason Dominguez play center, and you can have Cody Bellinger be your first baseman. But I know there's a lot of Yankee fans that just a little bit nervous when it comes to Cody Bellinger just because of that injury track record.
I agree. Yeah. And definitely got to be creative this off season. So yeah, adding a Rizzo in that trade, I'm not opposed to it.
Yeah, I'm not. If it gets us Juan Soto, Anthony Rizzo, I love what you've done here with the Yankees. I love what you've done off the field when it comes to the community in the Bronx. I love what you do when it comes to your Instagram posts and your little puppy and your dogs and your sneakers. I like all that. It's all cool, but you ain't Juan Soto. You ain't a 24 to 25-year-old outfielder who could be on your team for the next 10 to 15 seasons.
Right.
You ain't that, my guy. So I'll give you a nice party while you're on your way to San Diego if that means we get back Juan Soto.
Exactly. Yep. Give me Soto.
Exactly. Let's switch up the convo just on the topic. We're going to put in the link for the open panel so you guys could join us on the conversation. But this is some stuff that came out yesterday. Sports Illustrated, Yankees Insider, they put something out. The Yankees All-Star reportedly could be non-tender in a surprise move this winter. And they're talking about Jose Trevino. Jimmy from the Bronx said, well, I'd agree the Yankees starting catchers in 2024 will most likely be Austin Wells and Jose Trevino. Unfortunately, moves will have to be considered regarding Higashioka and Ben Rothbach, and regarding Soto, in my view, would be too costly for New York not to sign. When it comes to Jose Trevino and the possibilities that the Yankees could waive him, what's your thoughts on that, TC?
Yeah, I mean, he was a solid catcher
for us.
Folks
in the chat, let us know in the chat as well. Do you guys want the Yankees to keep Jose Trevino, or you think Jose Trevino is just a lost cause with Austin Wells coming up? My fault, TC. Go ahead.
Yeah, no worries. No, he's a great defensive catcher, and you can't take that away from him. But his bat fell off big time, fell off a cliff, and we need offense, badly. And Austin Wells, he hasn't proven anything yet, but he is the future. He's left-handed. So if Trevino is going to stick around, I see him more of a backup role now. But you could always bring back Higashioka. Definitely, a cheaper, he's right-handed. You want to have a lefty right-handed catching duo. But I'm not really opposed to letting Jose Trevino walk. I mean, he was just it was a bright spot when his bat kind of woke up in 2022. That was a plus because we got him for his pitch framing and his calling his the games, his defense. Well upgraded over Gary Sanchez. I mean, huge upgrade, but not in the bat. So unfortunately, this team needs hitting. That's the sore spot. So I don't know. There's got to be change, and he might be part of the change. I don't know.
Like my guy Razel the Great just said, did any of you guys hit that like button? Hit that like button because we got 60 people in the building on the conversation. Shout out my guy Chris the Flash who's in the building. Keep Jose because I gotta see another year from Wells. I see what you're saying. And I do agree with you. TC, I'm not ready just to give Austin Wells the starting catcher job just right out the gate. Yes, he hit 4 home runs in the 20 games he played up here, but he had a little bit of struggles when it comes to his offensive side of things. He picked it up towards the end of the season, and I want to attribute that to Austin Wells and not just the fact that we were playing the Kansas City Royals to end the year. But I want to see more from Austin Wells in spring training. If Austin Wells has a phenomenal spring training, then he definitely wins the job. But I think we need to keep Jose Trevino because he's a phenomenal defensive catcher. And if you're gonna want to have someone tutor your young catcher who's coming up, who's better than do it than Jose Trevino, who won a Gold Glove with you as a catcher for the Yankees. So I'm not mad at it if we keep Jose Trevino, but Kyle Higashioka, I think his time has come. You know, he could be a coach with the Yankees. I'll give him a job as a coach. But to rely on Kyle Higashioka to be in that mix as a catcher in that platoon, I'm not sure about that. I think Ben Rohrback, I think that trade is looking to be worse and worse and worse as time goes on. I think Garrett Cole likes picking on Ben Rohrback. That was an interesting relationship to see between the two of them. But no, I think going into next year, the catching duo needs to be Austin Wells and Jose Trevino.
Yeah, that quite possibly could be. I mean, I'm not opposed to keeping him as well. He's a great catcher, defensive catcher. But starting every day, I don't know about that anymore because he's his bat. Well, he was hurt, so let's see this year. Training. I mean, he did have that
wrist was messed up. His wrist was all messed up.
That could have done damage to his hitting. And he was swinging at balls like coming into his chest and
one hand too. Those were weird to see.
Yeah, we were just like shaking our heads like what did he just why is he swinging at that? So it was a lot of things going wrong for him last year. So this year, bring him back, see how he does, how he works with Austin Wells, and like you said, being a mentor to him. He's a great mentor, a great defensive catcher, and that's what Wells needs. Wells has the bat. He just needs to pick it up. But I'm not opposed to it.
Definitely not opposed to it. I'm going to put the link to the open panel in the chat. Like always, everybody is more than welcome to come on. But like always, guys, we got to be respectful to the terms and services for YouTube, for Facebook, and for Twitter, right? If somebody is in the middle of giving a take, let someone finish before you jump in because the same time would be given to you. And let's just all be respectful. Let's keep it clean, like PG-13, like we watching Nickelodeon on a Saturday morning cartoon show, right? My guy 19 comments says, get Ohtani, put him at first base for a season, then trade Stanton and put Judge at first base. And the Martian and listen, 19 comment. You stop hanging out with L.I. Yankee King. That was very creative. That's a very creative.
That was an L.I. take right there.
And also, we are just 4 subs away from 1,600. If you guys can, if you're watching this for the first time, hit that subscribe button. Help us get to 1,600. And if you missed the conversation we had with John Starks yesterday, make sure you guys go and tune into that. Show that video some love. It was a great conversation between myself, John Starks, Celso, Jerry, and Phil. You're gonna want to watch that. But I'm gonna bring up you guys as you guys showed up backstage, and I'm gonna bring up my brother NYY News El Numero Uno Ruben in the building. Hold on one second. Let me just make sure. Wait. There we go. Rubes, how you doing, my guy?
All good, bro. How you guys doing?
Chilling, baby.
Real good.
Okay, cool.
You can always count on Ruben. Ruben's always here. Love that.
Yeah, Ruben, he's the man.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys always. You guys definitely always make it fun to talk about Yankees and keep us a little bit sane. You know what I mean? Because
it's not always fun though. It's not always fun to talk Yankees, but we try to make it fun, and you make it fun.
Yeah, thank you. But going back to that Trevino question you guys were talking about, I would keep him, bro. Like I keep him 100% just because the way I look at Trevino is he he's a platinum glove type catcher. He by far had the best framing in 2022, and even with a down year, he was still like top 3 to top 4 in framing this year. So we don't want to completely sacrifice all the improvements we've made on pitching, just to get offense, basically. So, and granted, Wells is actually sorry, little Ruben's here. You know,
Little Rube.
All
he's
right.
over here going ham right now. But yeah, the improvements we've made, and Wells is also a really good framer too. So like a lot of the stuff that you used to talk about Wells is not that he couldn't receive the game. He's a great receiver. He can call the game. He can do all that kind of stuff. So it's the arm, and so to me he profiles a lot like Trevino actually defensively. Great framer, great game calling. Just an average arm, a very below average arm. So,
Yeah.
but I would keep both of them because they're both good bats, just different kind of bats. Wells is more of a like big offensive bat potential. You got Trevino as more of a contact back. He doesn't strike out a lot. He strikes out under 20%. I think he's around 16-18% when he's healthy and stuff like that. So, and the bat struggles that he was having this year was more towards because of his wrist. Remember, he's had this wrist injury since the beginning of spring.
Right.
And he's been playing right through it. So he's a gamer. So that's the type of thing that I look at with Trevino. I think that Trevino and Wells would be a really nice mix. And then Warvet, who I know Jericho loves to catch him. Buddy, I'm talking over here, man.
Little Rube, he's like, Dad, I want to get in a conversation.
Yeah. He said, look, I want the milk and cookies with them Yankees, okay?
That's it.
But yeah, so basically that's my take on that. And then Bellinger, to me, I would go Bellinger over Lee. Because Bellinger can slide to first base. He plays a really like good first base. He's not just a Gold Glove outfielder. He plays a really good first base.
Yeah.
And despite all his injury concerns, when you take his full seasons where he didn't have like a later call up, because like he was healthy in 2017, but he was a later call up, so he missed like 30 games. So out of the games available to be played, he's basically played 85% of his games since 2018. If you include from the time that he's called up, he's closer to 87, 88% of his games. So even when he's injured, he plays. So the only difference would be that the Yankees most likely would be like, "Hey, you suck when you're injured, so we're not gonna play you." So in that sense, like I think Bellinger's not that much of a concern for me because I think he got his shoulder issues squared away. He understands his body better now, and I don't see that being a recurring issue as much.
Yeah.
So that and even if he were to have a down year, he's hitting like what 270, 280. So I mean, Soto just hit 275.
Well, listen, I'm not mad at that, and with the Yankees also, Ruben, the Yankees have been able to manage players that have injuries concerns, right? So you could see Cody Bellinger, if the Yankees were to get him this offseason, play 4, maybe 5 times out of the week, rest for 2 to 3 times out of the weeks, and they'll be able to manage his overload when it comes to his body and what he's putting on it. So Cody Bellinger does have that upside because he is a phenomenal defender. He has that swagger to him as well. Let's not act like Cody Bellinger is just vanilla in the face. No, he has that demeanor and that swagger that we're missing in this lineup, right? I know one thing, us Yankee fans, when we watch the Philadelphia Phillies in the postseason, their players, Castellanos, Kyle Schwarber, Bryce Harper, they all play with a swagger and an edge to them, and that's what we're missing out of our lineup. If we're able to get Juan Soto, if we're able to get Cody Bellinger, that will bring that swagger back to the Bronx. Am I off base for that, Ruben? And I know I got 2 other people backstage. I got Jonathan and Sunil I'll bring up right after Ruben goes. Go ahead, Rubes.
Hold on 1 second. So to me, like, yeah, I think you're right on that.
Hold on. I just got to give you credit. The way that you just typed that shit out just now, that was just amazing. You was like, give me 1 second. Clickly, 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 clicky. Now, talking about the Yankees.
So basically, like the way I look at it is like you said, we need somebody that can hit, someone that's been under pressure. If you look at it, on a former teammate of his, and Corey Seager, right? They're both lefties. They both play for a big market for the Dodgers. They both have been into the postseason constantly. Bellinger, like Seager, has shown that he can hit in the postseason.
Mm-hmm.
So, and Bellinger, even on his down year in 2020, he went off in 2020 in the postseason in 2021. Mm-hmm. Even despite his struggles during the regular season in those years. So when I see that, it makes me like more confident in him, because like now that he's healthy regular season wise, then when the postseason comes, he's gonna go and go off. Because I don't want just a star based on name and regular season production, but is he a big game guy? Is he a guy that's gonna want to perform during the pressure's on?
True. Yeah.
And Seager's that 19 home runs, most by any left-handed hitter in the postseason in only like 77 games, they said, passing Reggie Jackson. Then you got Bellinger in that same kind of mold, but just a different position. And maybe and Seager again, he's also struggled with his injury issues here and there. He had a down year before with the Dodgers as well. So like I really think that we need to not only get better bats that are lefties in contact, but guys that also can hold pressure. Because it feels like we're going after guys that they look nice in the regular season, but do they hit in the postseason? So like, for example, I can actually like feel confident about Stanton in the postseason, because even last year in 2022, he missed the whole chunk of the season, hit like trash most of the season. He was the second best bat in the postseason despite all his regular season struggles, because he zones in the postseason. So imagine if he's winning constantly in the regular season, maybe that puts more juices flowing into Stanton as well. True, so like a lot of these guys, they need to come in with that pressure of like, hey, you're here to win the division. You're not here to win the wild card or just to get in, because at the end of the day, like that's why I don't like the Diamondbacks making it to the World Series, because they just got in, and it's like it's not a crapshoot. You gotta set the best team possible. What people forget about the Diamondbacks, they had all the pieces you need to win a championship, as long as they're all clicking at the right time.
Yeah.
The Yankees never had all the pieces, because a lot of the hitters were like very iffy, and like you never know. The Diamondbacks had the talent, and it just clicked at the right time.
Yeah.
So like the crapshoot argument is all based on like, okay, once you get in, it turns into a crapshoot in the sense of like, if you're not playing your best ball, you can be eliminated, but it doesn't mean that you can go and just get into the postseason.
Yeah, and also too, right? I'm not trying to take anything away from the Diamondbacks, because they were able to make it to the World Series. They got hot at the right time, and at the same time, the Philadelphia Phillies, they got cold at the wrong time, right? They weren't able to hit in those last 2 to 3 games versus the Diamondbacks. So as much credit as I give to the Diamondbacks for making it to the World Series, they got hot at the right time. The Phillies, they got cold at the wrong time, because everybody was expecting the World Series to be the Phillies versus the Texas Rangers. Let's just be honest, when the NLCS and the ALCS was both going on. But I want to shout out DJ Stills. DJ Stills, stop hating on the follically challenged community. All right, look, DJ Stills, okay?
Hey,
guy be hating over there on the ball.
I ain't got I ain't got no problem with being bald, man. I don't gotta worry about my hair.
As a fact. Well, Ruben, he's down in Florida, right? So he has good weather in Florida. Me in New York City, I be freezing cold now because my head, I don't got no hair on it. So I gotta move to an area that has better weather when it comes to that. But now I'm gonna bring up 2 more people to join us in on the conversation. I'm gonna bring up Jonathan first, because Sunil's in the kitchen making eggs or cutting up an orange. I can't tell what the hell he's doing back there. But Jonathan, you've been listening to the conversation. What's your thoughts, brother?
Yeah, I would do what it takes to get Soto. Soto, it should be the number one priority along with Yamamoto. And honestly, for catcher, I like the idea of having. This is assuming Trevino is healthy. If Trevino is healthy, I would keep Trevino and platoon him with Wells and let I think Higashioka has one more year left. Maybe I use him in a trade. But I don't see long term. I don't see Higashioka as a fit for the Yankees after this year.
No, but I don't even think this year they should bring him back. Like what I was saying, he should be a coach if anything.
Honestly, isn't Ben Rice a catcher also?
Well, Ben Rice is called. He's a catcher and first baseman. Go ahead, Rubes.
Yeah, Ben Rice is a catcher and he's a first baseman. But he hasn't reached AAA yet on the catching side, which is really important for catchers.
Next year, he probably will reach AAA. After
I think he should start the season at AAA, depending on how he does in spring training. And I think if he has a phenomenal year in AAA, he'll be knocking on the door for the Bronx in September.
I wouldn't mind a trade that includes Higashioka because I don't see him as a long-term possibility.
He's a backup.
I would trade him for international signing money.
Yeah, and if anything, he's a backup to a backup, right?
Yeah.
When it comes to our depth chart right now.
He has no place on the Yankees after this year.
Yeah, and and I'm not trying to take anything from Kyle Higashioka because he is the longest tenure Yankees inside of the Yankee organization. He's out of all the players we have on our roster, he's been out with our organization the longest. So I don't want to discredit him or anything like that.
In 2008.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He could definitely be a coach. He could definitely be in the minor leagues when it comes to player development. He was great when it comes to Austin Wells, showing him the ropes at the big league level. So I don't want to just totally discredit Kyle Higashioka, but as a player that we rely on making it to the World Series, I don't think he's in that mix.
But the Yankees also have to have an off season like they did after 2008. Just go out there, get all the pieces you need, and win. You can't have another season where you win less than 90 games.
Yeah, and hold on, I just want to ask you guys. I'll start with Ruben, TC, Jonathan, and then the ghost of Ben Rohrback, Sunil, that's at the end over there. When you guys were watching the World Series, or if you guys caught the highlights from the World Series, did you guys chuckle seeing Moreno laying down a butt late in the game, the catcher for the Diamondbacks? I'll start with you, Ruben, and then go to TC, Jonathan, and then Sunil. Seeing old school baseball in the World Series, what was your thoughts, Rubes?
I ain't gonna lie, bro. I ain't see shit.
At least, man, honesty is always the best policy, bro.
Yankees aren't in it. You're not watching, right?
I was working, man. So I was like, I have no idea what's going on. I remember something about bunting. Didn't even see the clip. I've been keeping up with the home runs, but I didn't see the bunting.
Home runs are cool to watch. No, I think it was the bottom of the seventh or the bottom of the eighth. They had runners on first and second. Moreno laid down the bunt, moved the runners over to second and third with just one out, and they just couldn't get the run in. They just could not get the ball out of the infield. What was your thoughts on that, TC? And throw to Jonathan, and I want to get Sunil's take on the conversation. Go ahead.
Yeah, loved it. I mean, that's how you play baseball. That's part of the game, and it's an art that's missing in a lot of teams. A lot of teams just rely on the home run, especially Yankees. They don't want to give up that out. They think it's that's sacrilegious or something like, oh no, we can't give up an out for to move runners, and we're going to hit a home run. It's better. And no, you put the ball in play. You make the defense make them work. They could throw the ball away. A lot can happen. And you're moving runners less than 2 outs. You got runners on second and third. The percentage to score is a lot higher. So I really wish Aaron Boone took some notes and started implementing that in their game.
Real quick,
go ahead, bro.
I gotta go. So I appreciate you guys. TC, right on the money. I completely agree with you. My take on what TC was saying is what happened, bro.
Ruben, before you go, I gotta dog you a little bit for using OpenAI ChatGPT on the stream, man. When you're going clickly, clickly, click.
What to say?
You're a clown, Chanel. You're a clown.
No, but anyways,
He was typing in the computer how
I type for
how
a
to
living, bro.
outsmart Hector. No. You. I saw what you were typing. You were
It was
typing
very
it.
impressive. Very impressive.
Yeah. He was like, how do I outsmart Hector on his own stream?
No. He's my guy Rube's very impressive with the clickety clack and typing. I ain't going
But
front.
yeah, real quick, because I do gotta hop off here. But with TC, I completely agree with what you're saying, and I think part of the reasoning that the only take I would say about that is that the Yankees have to practice it constantly because too many teams try to execute those things, and now they're trying to do it in the World Series and they don't practice it, and I think that's probably why the Diamondbacks probably didn't get to execute it properly because they probably didn't practice it enough. So I'm all for the old school baseball, but they need to practice this. And nowadays they don't practice. We're talking about practice. All right,
we
bye.
talk about practice. Rube, I love you, my guy. You be safe. Guys, make sure you guys go follow Ruben on Twitter. Make sure you guys go follow Felix, Ruben, and Don Sicario with NYY News. My guys put out great content. Later, Ruben.
Peace.
Peace. Jonathan, throw it over to you. What was your thoughts seeing old school baseball being played in the World Series? And then I want to get Sunil's take on the entire conversation.
It's always great to see old school baseball, especially if you have a player that can't hit very well. But always, they should practice. Teams should realize every player that can't really hit very well for average or for power, they should prioritize them improving their bunting. Because every time there will be times in all the year throughout the whole season where you come up in a game-winning situation potential where you can move the run in the third with less than 2 outs. If you can just do a sacrifice bunt and win the game on the next batter, that's a win.
Yeah.
Who doesn't like winning?
Yeah. Shout out my guy VR Hidalgo that's in the chat. My guy Acevedo's in the building as well. I got more people who joined the conversation, and we're sitting on 48 likes. If you guys can't, we're just 2 likes away from 50, and we are 2 subs away from 1,600. So if you're watching this for the first time, hit that sub button. If you haven't, gently or politely smack the subscribe or the like button. Please do it, like my friend Jerry says. But Sunil, you've been listening to the conversation. Grace us with your knowledge. Oh, my fault, Jonathan. You was finishing.
Well, the other thing that we were talking about is the catching situation, and honestly, I don't know if I mentioned this earlier. I don't see a future for Higashioka on this team.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely right there with you.
Ben Rice, I see as a potential future.
Sunil, grace us with your knowledge, old wise sage you. Go ahead, Sunil.
The bunt, that does exist. Why aren't we using it? That's my brief take. You can kind of rip the M&M commercial.
We got a question for you, Sunil, in the chat. Oh, Mr. Sunil probably got a phone call right there. But Jacob Petruzzi, what's the over and under? What were you making in the kitchen? Were you making eggs? Were you making what were you doing in that kitchen? Yeah, I definitely got to know. Shout out my guy Jacob Petruzzi, who's in the chat. My guy Razil the Great says 50 likes. SOA. Absolutely. Mike Perez is in the building. He says, I say trade for Soto, sign Yamamoto, Bellinger, and Hader, and trade Glaber for Corbin Burns. Listen, if we're able to pull off Corbin Burns, I would definitely love that.
If the Yankees get Burns and Hader,
let's see, Hader,
they probably win the AL East.
I may be on the opposite side when it comes to Hader. Hader lost me when he didn't want to go out there for 4 outs for a save. Right? He didn't want
to cut his hair.
That too, he doesn't want to cut his hair, but at the same time, I need my closer to be willing to go out there and pitch more than 3 outs. If Josh Hader doesn't want to come in for a 4-out save, I don't need him on my team. That's just me. I'm not going to invest and it's going to cost over $100 million to sign Hader because he is the number one closer on the market. I'm not willing to invest $100 million into a closer that does not want to pitch 4 outs.
Honestly, if I had a choice, I would probably get Matsui and use him as a closer.
I like Matsui, but we come from the days of seeing Mariano Rivera pitch 6 outs in order to get a save.
Mariano Rivera is a once in a lifetime.
No, I know. I get that. I get that. But Jonathan, what I'm saying is, I do not want to invest $100 million into a closer that does not want to pitch more than 3 outs. No. I don't want to do that whatsoever. Yeah. Go ahead, Sunil.
Yeah, sorry, I had a phone call that just briefly interrupted. I tried to end it, and then all of a sudden,
it was Brian Castro. It was Brian Castro.
No.
Inside scoop.
I haven't blocked. I haven't blocked on speed dial. He can't possibly penetrate. Trust me. Yeah, between him and Hal Steinbrenner, it's basically like, the deli at your local Key Food. Pick a number, wait in line. So anyhow, as far as old school tactics in baseball, it's time to get away from home run or nothing. Period. Mm-hmm. Home run or nothing does nothing than make my TV, act like an HVAC unit, as I've said numerous times jokingly on the previous streams. What I want to also get into, and this will be rather intriguing to you, I don't know if you remember all the way back in the July baseball draft. Who did the Toronto Blue Jays pick at number 20? Does that ring a bell to you? Did you watch the draft in full detail?
No, I was too busy listening to L.I. Yankee King and his different trade scenarios during the draft, so I wasn't able to watch the draft.
This would be something you'd want to ask somebody like Dane Huber, what he feels about this kid Arjun Nimala, who's of Indian descent, the first Indian player to be drafted
in the first round.
Number 20 by the Toronto Jays. I was watching swings that this guy was taking. You know who he reminded me of? Ryan Braun, who was a 296 career hitter. Mm-hmm. This guy had he's coming straight out of high school. He's 17 years old. You want to talk about a young talent, not generational. I'm going to stay away from the generational quantifier for now. We have yet to see what this kid can do in the developmental league, single A, high A, all that, as he rises through the ranks. Mm-hmm. But at what age did Vlad Guerrero first, make his debut with the Toronto Jays?
I think he was 20 or 21, if I'm not mistaken, Sunil.
So that tells you this kid is like 3 to 4 years away from that plateau.
Mm-hmm. How old was that young kid again that was drafted by Toronto?
17.
I gotta look up his name. What you said his name was?
Arjun is his first name. Nimmala is the spelling for his last name.
I got it.
You gotta watch this guy's hitting, fielding, and all that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Where's he play?
He's shortstop.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a shortstop. Also, he was a cricket player also that was converted into a baseball player.
Yeah, and his dad and his mom were basically no. Pickleball didn't even exist back then. His dad and mom, basically, his parents were involved in a variety of sports back in schools overseas in India. Mm-hmm. So they had a segment on the MLB app, which is the MLB India section. Actually, they have one section like that right now. I was intrigued. I was just poking through trying to find if I could access MLB Network because I unfortunately have YouTube TV, and you know what it is that between YouTube TV and MLB Network.
Me too.
They're basically apart. They're probably on opposite polar sides of the magnet. Mm-hmm. And then it was that way since before spring training. That's a whole separate conversation. We probably should have a separate live stream for that. I can spill my frustrations on that one left, right, and center.
I want to ask you, Sunil, are you familiar with cricket? Because I caught it here and there, right? I grew up in a household. My
Yes.
grandfather was from Trinidad and Tobago. Cricket is big in the Caribbean, the West
Oh,
Indies.
yeah.
So I want to ask you, like Brazil the Great in the chat says, cricket teaches back contact from the weirdest angles. It will translate. I've seen major league teams trying to get, I'm not sure what they're called in crickets, but the people who throw the ball, or what are they
Bowlers.
called? The ball,
So-
like
so
converting them into pitchers.
A bowler is basically a cricket analogous term for pitcher.
Okay,
And
yeah.
basically you have different formats. You have 3 different formats to the game of cricket. There's one which basically each team gets 20 overs aside. 1 over is defined by 6 valid balls thrown. Okay? And off of which you have to score as many runs as possible. Each over has 6 balls. You also have the one-day international format, which basically goes 50 overs aside. That one takes like 3 to 4 hours for each team to complete their batting. And you have 10 outs per side. In other words, there's 11 players in the batting order. Only one is standing, not out. But, that's basically in a situation where you bowl every one of them out. Right now, ironically, in India, you have the International Cricket Council World Cup going on right now in the ODI format, 50 overs aside. India is the host country. India today beat Sri Lanka in a major laugher style by 302 runs. That's not common. The score was something like 357 to 55.
What's a normal common score when it comes to cricket? I just want to ask you, just because I've seen some cricket games, like I said, but I'm really not familiar with the sport. And just so you guys know, yes, Sunil will be having a cricket show on the channel in the future. Go ahead, Sunil.
I might have to get my nephew to chime in on that because he's more the expert on it than I am.
Yeah. Have you seen the movie $1 Million Arm?
Yes.
It's based on based on a true story about the Pittsburgh Pirates getting the 2 cricket boilers over to the big leagues.
It's funny you mentioned that because one of the guys who's, the real life version of one of those characters off of which that movie is based, who came over from India, was in one of the segments. I'm going to send you guys the link. It's on the MLB India section in the MLB app. But the guy, Dinesh Singh, I believe his name is, he had a section, he had a video clip in there where he was actually teaching some young up-and-coming stars, I shouldn't say stars, but young and up-and-coming teenagers, more about the game of baseball. So you know how you have India initiatives for the NBA, you have those which are also up-and-coming for MLB as well, side by side. Now, to your earlier question about the common score in cricket, it depends on the format of the game. If you're playing a 20-over game, a decent score is going to be between 180 and 220.
Okay.
Because if you think about it, 6 balls and over for 20, that's 120 balls. If you can score 180 to 220 runs off of 120 balls, and you're not going to score off of every single ball, you're going to have occasionally what you got as a dot ball, basically a ball that's basically thrown validly, is bowled validly, but nothing was scored off of. That's the definition of a dot ball.
Okay, all right.
You also have the concept, or rather the probability for the bowler to commit what you could perceive in simple layman's terms for our explanation purposes as an error. And that error is basically either in the form of a no ball where he oversteps the line and he tosses it, or the ball is outside the cricket crease, the pitch crease. It goes far enough wide to where it's not feasible for the batter to hit the ball and actually attempt to score runs off of. So if it's thrown that far out, it's treated like we call in baseball as a ball, but in cricket, by rule, a wide ball is basically an extra run for the batting team.
Okay, so I just want to bring the conversation back to baseball real quick. Just one second.
Sure.
I just want to answer someone in the chat. Hector Cruz said, "I see the Padres drafted a catcher from PR. Shohei is not likely to be included in the deal." Well, also the San Diego Padres also signed 16-year-old switch hitting catching international phenom Ethan Salas, who I wanted the Yankees to sign this offseason, but the Yankees didn't have enough international signing money to sign that catcher. Go ahead, Jonathan. I want to throw it back to you because in the chat people are talking about Ohtani. I want to circle it back to Ohtani before we dip out. Go ahead, Jonathan.
I was looking at this upcoming Rule 5 draft, and the one name that nobody had mentioned is Augustin Ramirez, who is going
Augustin
to be
Ramirez. Yeah.
He's a catcher. He's a catcher. That's one player that could be taken early if the Yankees do not protect him. So what do you think about protecting him? And unfortunately, I'm sorry for you, Hector. I don't think your boy
Andres Chaparro will be
protected at the
I don't. It hurts my heart.
Bye to Yankees in the Rule 5 draft.
Yeah. So when it comes to both Augustin Ramirez and Chaparro, if there's a way to protect them, you do it. But if they can't be protected, it's just a part of the business, right? Hopefully they could go on to another team and make the big leagues that way. But I don't think he'll be with the Yankees. As much as I love Chaparro, he definitely has big league powers. It's just he doesn't have a place. He's not a fielder, right? He's not above average. He's not average when it comes to fielding. The Yankees have Stanton as a DH, so there's no place for him to play.
As of now, the players off the top of my head that are absolute locks for protection would probably be Beater and this guy Ramirez. What was his name?
Augustine.
Yeah, those are the two guys off the top of my head that I can think of who should be absolute locks for protection from the Rule 5 draft. I'm not sure who else is available. I haven't done my research in quite a few months, but what do you think? What do you think?
It's tough for that, but I just want to switch up the conversation before we get out of here because Steve in the chat, him and Asaya the chef, they're talking about Ohtani, and as much as I would love Ohtani with the Yankees, I just don't think the Yankees are going to invest $600 million into Ohtani. One, it's from the Yankees. I don't think the Yankees are going to invest that money, and two, I don't think Ohtani wants to come to the East Coast. He's a guy that loves to go back and forth between the States and Japan. And if you're on the East Coast, you're adding an extra 9 to 12 hours on your trip back and forth. And I just think that's something that Shohei Ohtani wants to avoid. If Ohtani goes to anywhere, he's going to go to the Mariners.
If the Yankees add a Japanese player, it will be Yamamoto.
Yeah. What about you, TC? What's your thoughts on that? And just swing it over to Sunil.
Yeah, like you said, I don't think Ohtani is a good fit. We have Stanton. We can't put him anywhere. He's the DH, so he can't pitch this year.
Get him out of here.
That's a lot of money just to have a guy just be basically a DH. Where are you going to put him? We need an outfielder. It just makes no sense. He's a great left-handed hitter. I don't see him coming to the East Coast. It just doesn't make sense. Soto's a lot better choice.
Yeah, and Steve, I get what you're saying, Steve. Steve said Stanton can play left field. The Red Sox won 2 World Series with Manny Ramirez on left field. The difference between Yankee Stadium left field and Boston and Fenway Park left field is that Yankee Stadium left field is basically center field in 25 other ballparks in Major League Baseball. You need someone who can play the corner outfield spot, and no, Juan Soto is not a Gold Glove outfielder, but he could definitely play left field better than Stanton could play left field.
I'm just a better hitter than Stanton.
I'm just getting nightmares right now of seeing Giancarlo Stanton running in the outfield and pulling a hamstring like the first week of the season.
Stanton will not play in the outfield unless it's an emergency situation.
Yeah, he's not going to be, especially now with his body breaking down.
He might be the 6th or 7th outfield.
He barely played the 100 games this year. I think he played the 101 games. He barely played that for the Yankees this year.
I think we talked about this at an earlier time. Stanton hadn't played 130 games since his first year with the Yankees. Didn't we talk about that a month ago?
A few episodes ago, we definitely talked about it.
Yeah.
So now I want to get your takes real quick when it comes to Ohtani, and we just got to wrap it up just because I gotta go to physical therapy in about 30 minutes.
The only way I'm taking an Ohtani deal is if the currency for that large amount is in yen, and we know that ain't happening. So that's the beginning and end of that. As far as Stanton goes, Jonathan, we had that conversation a month ago on both here and on Pinstripes After Dark. I gave Hector and Uncle Tats on Pinstripes After Dark, and then the next morning to Hector, I gave both of them a serious case of logic. They're like, dude, why are you here to foobar our streams, basically?
Yeah. Bro, so, I still have stomach pains from that conversation. Sunil, go ahead.
Yeah. So, I mean, basically, we need, it's not just about the star players we're going to get. It's about exactly. Raziel's touching exactly. That's a perfect prelude to what I was getting to. The medical training staff and the entire fitness regimes that the players are going through. It has to change. You can get every star player, front, left, right, and center on this roster. You have a younger Soto in the making, possibly, if that trade goes through. If you don't have the right training regimen, the right medical staff and support, and you just let him go out and play like a drunken sailor, as you put it earlier, what do you think is going to happen? You have a 16-year-old kid learning to drive for the first time, but you don't teach him the proper rules of the road. Need I say more?
Yeah. No, and I just want to highlight that. And Steve, I get what you're saying, right? Trust me. When Ohtani was a free agent, I wanted the Yankees to sign him when he first came over from Japan. If we didn't have Giancarlo Stanton on this team, I would definitely try to get the Yankees or tell the Yankees to do what you can to get Ohtani in the Bronx. But the fact that we have Stanton on the roster, my issue is not Stanton getting hurt. It's Stanton playing left field. If Stanton is your defender in left field, if anyone gets a ball to your left fielder into that corner, it's an automatic triple just because of how Giancarlo Stanton runs. He's not going to be able to get to any of those balls out there. Your teams will be aiming to hit it to left field just because they know he's a horrible defender out there. My fault.
Yeah, so slow.
No problem. No problem. I'm just going to throw in a dark horse to tell you guys where I see Ohtani landing, and don't be surprised if he goes to the desert in Arizona. Because he does want to stay west. Don't be surprised if Arizona dips in.
They have that money?
Yeah.
No, Arizona has the money. They put out money for Zach Greinke. They put out money for Madison Bumgarner. They have the money. Arizona sneakily has money.
World Series, so they
just made it to the World Series. Yeah, you got to remember when they first came up as an expansion team, they paid more money for Kurt Schilling and for Randy Johnson than any other team out there. So they could spend the money. They have the money. It's just, does he want to go to the desert? That's the only thing when it comes to Ohtani. If that's a solid, sneaky pick, Sunil, but I'm putting my money that he's going to go to Seattle just because of how much he loves Ichiro and how much he respects Ichiro. And I think Seattle is trying to build that pipeline, that Japanese to the MLB pipeline. They're trying to build that up.
I wish I could say he was going to stay with Anaheim, but Anaheim is every which flavor of dysfunctional at this point.
Yeah,
Anaheim destroyed Mike Trout's career, I think.
Yeah,
there's another trade waiting to happen potentially. I could see Mike Trout wanting to.
No one will trade
request
Trout's money unless Anaheim. No one will take on Trout's money unless Anaheim paid significant for it.
Philly would take on his money just because it's the hometown kid coming home. The marketing that's behind it with Mike Trout.
Trout is making $43 million and plays only.
They got to rebuild their farm system.
Can you imagine?
It's just been the past 2 seasons that Mike Trout's been injured. Let's yeah, go ahead, Sunil.
Can you imagine 3, 4, 5 being Schwarber, Trout, and Harper in that lineup?
It's ridiculous.
And then Turner possibly as number 2 or number 6.
Maybe they'll be in the World Series again.
Hey, maybe. But let's get ready to wrap it up. TC, what's your final thoughts? Let's get Jonathan final thoughts and Sunil final thoughts before we get out of here. TC, go ahead, brother.
Final thoughts on the show is we need to get Soto. ASAP today, preferably, if they can. Sign him long term. That's what we got to do. Everybody else doesn't matter. Just get Juan Soto, and the chips will fall where they may. And hopefully it's not all just lip service, and something gets done, because if there's no change, we're not going anywhere. So
facts.
We'll see.
Facts. Jonathan, what's your last thoughts? And then throw it over to Sunil, and then I'll wrap it up. Go ahead, Jonathan.
Essentially, Yankees need to focus on Soto and Yamamoto. They also have to make some very creative trades to both reduce the money on the payroll and add money, reduce the players on the payroll and bring money back on players that can help them instead of players. They need players that doesn't strike out 100 times a year. 1/5 of the player that doesn't strike out 20% of the time. That's what they need to do to build this roster.
Okay. Sunil, last thoughts on it before I wrap it up. Go ahead, brother.
Can you imagine what the back pages of New York Daily News and Newsday would read if we were successful in getting Yamamoto to the Bronx? Soto is a given. You have to get Soto. That's a given. But I'm just talking about Yamamoto in specific. Back pages would be reading, "Hello, Moto." Would be leveraging an old Motorola commercial.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, and you have to try to make reconciliations with Ponte to balance that rotation. You need a lefty because Nestor is going back to the pen. The writing's on the wall. His arm can't handle the starting pitching load. It's almost common sense.
I agree.
If you can't get
in the pen,
if you can't get Monty, then as part of the Soto trade, you have to get Snell, even if he is a Scott Boras client.
I'm not sure about Snell. I don't think the Yankees are going to be able to fork over the money for Snell. If it's up to me, it seems like Yamamoto would be the cheaper option than Snell, and Yamamoto is younger than Snell. So I think the Yankees would go that route.
I'm not saying alternatively. I'm saying get both, because your first three need to be Cole, Yamamoto, Rodon. Reduce the pressure off Rodon, because he's not going to be a clean build of health ever, even if he got 6 for 162. That's not a clean build. He's not CC. Period.
At the same time.
Yeah. So hopefully,
that's exactly what I'm saying.
Hopefully the Yankees could get creative in this offseason. Guys, set your notifications on, just because Hal Steinbrenner is supposed to be addressing the media after the World Series. So let's see if he actually lives up to what he's saying. As soon as he addresses the media, we will be going live over here when it comes to Yankees Morning Brew. So make sure you guys set your notifications for that. Next week, it's going to be on one day out the week. We're just going to be on next week, Thursday, not Tuesday, depending on if any breaking news happen. Then we'll come back on Tuesday. But appreciate everybody for tuning in. If you didn't watch the John Stark episode on Yankees Morning Brew, please, if you guys can, just go over there, give that video a like. If you guys could just help us out, we're trying to help that video get some traction. We definitely appreciate everybody that was in the chat. My guy Razil the Great, Jerry Cadell, my guy Bradley Jewish, who was in the building, Hector Cruz, my guy Ness, Asaya the Seth, Steve, who was dropping in the Otani bombs, Li Yankee King, we appreciate you, Damian Serrano, Stephen B, big time Jerry. Shout out to all of the real ones that's in the chat. My guy Jared, he said, before you go trick, New York Post. Yeah, Jared, we need the New York Post to come out heavy. We definitely appreciate all of you guys in the building. We are one subscriber away from 1,600. Jonathan, what you got something you wanted to say before we get out?
It looks like Jason just put out that the A's have signed a free agent, the Braves.
I don't.
Jason just put out
he's got a video out there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's got a video out there.
I haven't read it, but something about the Braves just signed a free agent.
All right. Well, guys, make sure you guys go check out that video from our friend Jason over at 161 River Ave. We'll definitely be tuning in. But guys, like always, salute, salutations, love, respect for your neighbors, and always deuces.